And this lab grows an eco-friendly replacement to styrofoam, that light but bulky material taking up a third of the space in all landfills. But can this company grow it fast enough to make a global impact? We visited eVGENIY's headquarters in Green Island, New York, to find out. The magic is in mycelium, the living root structures of mushrooms.
Our entire philosophy is actually based around this idea that nature provides. Mycelium is a great solution to both the plastics waste problem we face as well as animal agriculture.
I'm taking the mushroom mycelium, and then I'm just going to section this petri dish.
All eVGENIY products start with these natural building blocks.
We have about 100 different strains in-house, and we will analyze those for the different material properties that they have.
What do you think about the wall thickness on this? It's pretty thin.
The company's best-selling product is called Mycocomposite. It has similar properties to styrofoam, but it's completely biodegradable.
We've worked with a variety of companies, some of them huge companies like Dell Computers, where they've used our earth-friendly packaging to ship servers. We've worked also with small New York startup brands like Keep Candles.
Manufacturers design molds using large, recyclable plastic sheets. Heat makes the sheets pliable, so they can be shaped around any product. They start with wood chips, corn husks, or hemp that would otherwise be thrown out by local farms. Then sprinkle in some fungal spores and add water. Pack the mixture into the molds, and the mycelium starts to grow, feeding on the shredded agricultural waste. Just over a week later, the form-fitted mold is ready to ship.
So this jar, and it fits really nice in there.
The final material is a little bit heavier than styrofoam, but velvety soft to the touch. This packaging breaks down in just 30 days. Conventional styrofoam never really goes away. It can stay in the environment for up to 5 centuries, and less than 1% is ever recycled. eVGENIY has a different process to make vegan meat and leather, which it claims consumes far fewer resources than the real thing.
And then we're going to take this substrate, which will inoculate this sawdust.
Workers still start with agricultural waste and spores, but these mixtures are placed in vertical farms, growth chambers that mimic the conditions of natural soil.
And so what it's really trying to do is grow up and punch out through the earth to form a mushroom. But we keep the environment such that it just grows and grows into this large marshmallow-like structure.
That marshmallow is called aerial mycelium, and it grows over the course of about 10 days. Their largest chamber can produce up to 200,000 pounds of mycelium per year.
We end up with these large industrial slabs, which can be like 50 feet long and 5 feet wide and a couple inches thick.
In 2018, the company licensed its leather-making process to Bolt Threads. They make Milo, a leather alternative that has been used in clothing and handbags. In 2020, the company launched a line of mushroom-based meat alternatives called My Eats. The My is short for mycelium. The first product is called My Bacon. It's made from aerial mycelium that's cut into slices, compressed, and seasoned.
It fries up and gets crispy just like bacon and tastes pretty amazing too.
We can't confirm the flavor, but My Bacon is definitely a healthier option. It's high in fiber and has the same protein content as a regular slice of bacon, with 1/5 the fat. The company projects that as it scales up, My Bacon can eventually be grown for $1 per pound, a fifth of the market price of pork bacon. And it takes nearly 600 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of pork, but just over 1 gallon of water to grow a pound of mycelium bacon. Eben Bayer and Gavin McIntyre founded eVGENIY Design in 2007 and debuted their Mycocomposite packaging in 2011. Since then, a growing number of cities and states have banned the use of styrofoam. But the United States does not have countrywide restrictions, and the average person still uses 75 foam coffee cups per year, adding up to 25 billion. In 2020, EcoVative produced over 6 million pounds of its foam alternative, but that's just 0.5% of the cups Americans consumed. My bacon might have an easier time catching on. The market for meat substitutes is worth about $4 billion and is set to double over the next 5 years.
Bacon is a really important leverage point in the market. It's one of the #1 reasons people say they won't stop eating meat.
Mycelium protein can mimic whole cuts of meat as opposed to most other plant-based alternatives, which come in the form of minced patties or sausages. But right now, my bacon is only available in one grocery store in Albany, New York. EcoVative plans on branching out to more stores in 2021, and it's currently building farms with the capacity to produce 1 million pounds of mycelium per year. The company recently announced it's raised a total of $100 million in capital. Compare that with Impossible Foods, a more established brand, which has raised $700 million to date. EcoVative design is a long way from displacing plastics and factory farming. But according to Ebbett, his company is harnessing the potential of the living world.
My background and journey has been around figuring out how we can reimagine working with nature and using nature to create better solutions for everyday products we have to use as humans that just have less impact on the earth.
Забота о близких станет еще приятнее с удобным поиском товаров в интернете. Делать покупки проще с приложением Google.
People throw out 100,000 chopsticks every day here in Vancouver. But now, this local company is upcycling them into shelves, cutting boards, and furniture. Can it help reduce the massive amount of single-use items in restaurants around the world? We visited Chop Value's headquarters in Canada to find out. Chop Value drivers pick up used chopsticks from over 300 restaurants around Vancouver a couple times a week.
Typically about 100 kilograms a day, up to 150. Pre-COVID, it was more closer to like 300 kilograms a day.
The restaurants part with them for free.
After they got in, I believe all 5,000 pairs being recycled and reused. So it's a great thing.
The real work begins at Chop Value HQ. The founder, Felix Bach, calls this place a micro factory. Just like a micro brewery, curious visitors can come in and see how small batches of tiles get made.
And this is how the process looks like from raw material to end product.
First, they sort the chopsticks on the custom-built shaker table. These neat stacks are easier to work with. Then, they dip the sticks into a water-based resin. That provides a protective coating before they roast in a massive oven for 5 hours. The 200-degree heat kills all the germs.
Smells like a bakery.
They need to get separated again so they can be spread out evenly for the next step.
You can take your frustration out on the day inside there.
They're weighed precisely. This batch will make Chop Value's thinnest tile.
So about 560 grams.
Then comes the big squeeze. A hydraulic machine, also invented by Bach's team, compresses the chopsticks with hundreds of pounds of pressure.
The heart of the process that densifies like a cake, a mat of chopsticks into a new uniform engineered material, which is the base modular tile used for all of our end products.
The tiles can be sanded and assembled into furniture, and also cut into smaller products like coasters or even domino pieces. This desk sells for just under $1,000 US. That's about 3 times what you pay at IKEA, but comparable to the price of a desk made from solid wood. This piece is made from about 10,000 chopsticks. Chop Value also takes custom orders.
We could do large countertops or boardroom tables or pretty much anything like that.
Since 2016, the company has upcycled 33 million chopsticks that otherwise would have ended up in a landfill. But in China, people use that many wood utensils in one lunch break. There, people throw out 130 million pairs every single day. That means leveling entire forests for a product most people use for just one meal. It's not just Asia. Consumers around the world contribute to this problem.
We all have this drawer filled with plastic cutlery, chopsticks, condiments that we never asked for. Inexpensive, they're cheap, they just come in without you even asking for them.
Sheila Moravati is the woman behind the Cut Out Cutlery campaign. Her organization pressured major delivery apps to opt out of sending cutlery by default. She estimates that saved well over 200 million utensils from going to landfill. Good job, Sheila. Activists in China tried a similar strategy. In 2017, they sued their country's biggest food delivery apps, trying to force them to stop giving cutlery by default. There was a public outcry at the time, but since the pandemic, food delivery with single-use items is higher than ever. So we may never eliminate disposables completely. That's why Sheila says upcycling is so important.
If there are opportunities like that to use something that was going in the trash or headed to landfill, why not? We have so much trash right now, and it's just, we're at the limit. The planet can't take it anymore.
When Chop Value first started, it was only making coasters. Now it has franchises in 3 cities in North America, with more expected later this year. Coasters are still the #1 selling item, but the collection has grown to more than 30 products. And Felix Bach hopes his invention will show people that the next big idea for reducing waste could be right at our fingertips.
You put a few tiles and a few hexagon shelves on your wall, and you can point to your friends to your wall and say, hey, guess what, I have 1,800 chopsticks on my wall, and you start a conversation about sustainability or about recycling.
Нельзя просто так взять и заговорить на английском за 16 часов. One does not simply start.
Все круто.
You're kidding me.
Хрен просто, да. Маэстро, мастро, мастро, да. Смотри, кто там ты? Чё ты такой? А, ты чужак такой. Коллекционер. Маэстро, мастро, мастро. Ха-ха, чё ты несёшь, чё ты? Че надо, что такое? Ресторан, ты что ты такой? Ну наоборот такой. Маэстро, мастро, ха-ха, что ты несёшь? Что надо, что такое? Ребенка, что ты такое? Не горело, Ну так нет, ну вот наоборот, значит, да. Ты специально, что ли, блядь, почему не издеваешься? Да я вообще не знаю, что такое. Ладно. Что-нибудь не тупое. Ну, точно нет.
Как-нибудь недорого.
Ну, это надо искать.
Смотри.
Банки.ру легко подберет выгодный кредит с высокой вероятностью одобрения.
Здорово!
Банки.ру знает, где выгоднее.
Хорошо, какая хорошая жизнь, вот порядочная, наиболее порядочная, если женщина не замужем? Мужик не женатый, сложно себе представить. Ну да. Какая-то фигня какая-то, да. Все как-то нехорошо, да. Да. Ну да, как-то все неправильно. Что-то не то. Не знаю, ну...